Hello students, before going into the details of Python programming, let us see some basic things and fundamental about Python programming language. Python is a high-level, interpreted, interactive and object-oriented programming language belong to fourth generation. It's a high-level language in which you can easily mold the real world entities. That is, you can create real world softwares. Here I have used some of the term. First is interpreted, interactive and object oriented programming. Interactive means you can directly interact with the interpreter at runtime. You need not to compile the program before its execution. That's why Python is considered as interpreted programming language. Python is interactive, that is, you can directly execute the program and interact with the Python interpreter. Means you need not to save the program before execution it, because in Python two modes are available to execute a program. One is interactive mode, another is script mode. In interactive mode you can directly interact with the interpreter and you can execute and check your programs. Basically, interactive mode is used to write simple program and to check the answers, check the codes. But if we want to save the program permanently for the later use, then you have to use script mode. In script mode, you can write a program, save it, and you can execute it at any instance of time. So Python provides two modes, interactive mode and the script mode, to write your program and to check your program. Now, the Python is object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented means the programming based on real-world entities. For example, if we want to create the real-world software such as school management, hotel booking, railway reservation, any billing system, shopping complex, anything. So the software for the real world entities are known as object oriented software, and with the help of Python programming you can easily mold the real world entities. Now the question comes, how we identify a language as an object oriented programming language? There are some characteristics through which you can easily identify a language to be as object oriented programming language. Some of the characteristics of object oriented programming languages are encapsulation, modularity, polymorphism, abstraction and inheritance. So any programming language which satisfies these characteristics of object-oriented programming will be considered as object-oriented programming language. Let's go into the details of concepts of OOP, rather object-oriented programming language. First is encapsulation. 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 Encapsulation refers to wrapping of data members and their associated functions into a single unit. For example, let us take the example of the real world. That is our house. In our house, all the members live together and they perform certain functions. That is, in our house, mother, father, brothers, sisters and other people lives and they perform their functions. For example, sleeping, eating, watching TV, etc. So, all the members and their functions are enclosed in a single unit that we call as house. That's why this term is known as encapsulation. Now, let us understand this terms in terms of programming. Encapsulation refers to wrapping of data members. Data member means variables and their associated function. Function means the coding through which we perform certain work on those variables. So the wrapping of data members and their associated functions into a single unit is known as encapsulation. The programmatical example of encapsulation is class. Class contains data member and their associated functions into a single unit. Now, the thing is that why encapsulation is required, or we can say what is the benefit of encapsulating the data members. Through encapsulation, we can hide the private data from outside world. As in our real world, we keep the important and confidential things safely in our house so that we make it private and it cannot be accessed by other person outside the world. In the field of programming, if we want to make some of the data as private so that it cannot be accessed from outside world, that is rest of the program, then we can make it the data private by encapsulating it in the class. Encapsulation reduces accidental loss of data because by making the data private, it is not accessible from outside world. So if we want to access the data, then the member function of the class can only access the data and the rest of the program cannot access the data. So hiding the data in a class, technically known as data hiding. Data hiding reduces accidental loss of data. So we can say that encapsulation protects the data from outside world. Now the second term is modularity. Modularity means breakdown of large and complicated tasks into small parts. Module means parts. As we see in real world, any book we can say that a book is a complete syllabus which is divided into chapters. So chapters are the parts and these parts are technically known as module. So when we combine all the module together, then we can say that our work is done. In the same way, in the field of programming, any software is developed in small parts. And when we combine all the parts together, then we can say that our software is ready. So, dividing the long and complicated task into small parts is known as modularity. In programmatical world, the concept of modularity is implemented through function. Functions means group of codes which perform a specific task, that is known as function. All this concept we will learn in the course of time of learning the Python programming, but here I am just giving you the introduction about these concepts. So we can say that modularity is the process of dividing large and complicated tasks into small parts. Another concept is abstraction. Abstraction means representation of essential features without including the background details. This is known as data abstraction. Means some part of a program, or we can say some code of a program, can be reused in other program. Python provides a variety of methods to abstract the data. you can abstract the data by making the modules, or by making the class, or with the help of inheritance. There are so many other methods. So it helps in to use the code of some program at different part of other program. So abstraction refers to representation of essential features without including the background details. So the parts which you want to access anywhere in other program, you can abstract that part without including other details. Next is inheritance. Inheritance implements reusability of the codes. That is, the features and members of a class can be reused in another class. For example, there is a class student which is having some features, some members. For example, students are having the attributes roll number, name, class, marks. And if we are making two more classes, let us say senior student and junior student. In senior student, we want to access those attributes which we have already assigned for the students, so that attributes can be accessed without writing them again in the class of senior student as well as in the class of junior student with the process of inheritance. So with the help of inheritance, you can reuse the code of one class into another class. The concept of inheritance is implemented through the class. So all those programming language which satisfies these concepts of OOP is known as object-oriented programming language. So let us revise once more. The concepts of object-oriented programming language are encapsulation, modularity, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Now the next term, polymorphism. Polymorphism is the ability of a message to be represented in more than one form. That is, a message can be used in more than one form. For example, in Python programming, the operator plus can be used in two ways. If we use plus operator with integer, then it performs the work of addition. And if we use plus operator with string, then it performs the work of concatenation. That is, it joins two strings. And for example, if we do 5 plus 2, then the answer is 7. But if I write A plus B, the answer is AB. Here A and B are concatenated. And 5 plus 2, it's 7. It's the addition. So this concept of overloading a operator is known as operator overloading. Means you can perform more than one work with the help of one operator. So polymorphism is the ability of a message to be represented in more than one form. The example of polymorphism are operator overloading, and we can not only plus, there are many operators which can be overloaded at the time of programming. So all these concepts which are satisfied by a programming language is considered as object-oriented programming language. So we come to this conclusion that Python is an interactive, interpreted and object-oriented programming language of fourth generation which provides many features and facility to mold the real world entities. Thank you.